It was just another quiet night in the desert. The wind was still, and the stars shimmered gently above. Rango stood beside Red, both lost in the silence. But then it came, a strange crack in the sky, a vertical rip glowing like fire. Through glass, it wasn't lightning, it wasn't natural. It pulsed like it was breathing. Red stepped back, feathers stiffening. Rango narrowed his eyes, and for a second, they saw something moving inside the rift watching them. Before either could speak, the wind stopped, everything froze, and the crack began to open. Red shouted, "Run!" But it was too late. The sky screamed. A blinding force yanked them forward as if gravity reversed. Rango's hat flew off, and Red's wings flailed in panic. The world twisted this and vanished beneath their feet. They weren't falling. They were being dragged through space, through mirrors, through madness. The crack closed behind them. Darkness wrapped around their bodies. Rango tried to grab Red, but their hands passed through light. Then a silence, a pulse, and suddenly they were somewhere else, somewhere they didn't belong. They stood inside a reflection of the real world, but everything was wrong. Streets floated upside down. Buildings were stitched together with glass and shadows. Their own reflections moved differently in broken mirrors floating mid-air. Red whispered, "Where are we?" Rango turned slowly, eyes darting, tail twitching. The ground cracked like porcelain beneath their feet. In the skies above, mirrors were falling like rain. This was not another place. It was a trap, a twisted echo, a nightmare made real. From the shards of a shattered sky, a figure descended. His cloak was alive, flames of shadow rippling through it. His eyes weren't eyes, just voids, pulsing with hunger. "Welcome," he hissed, "to my playground." It was Doctor Strange, but twisted, corrupted. Rango reached for his weapon only to find it turned to glass. Red charged, but the evil doctor simply raised a hand. Mirrors spun like blades, slicing through the air, caging them. "Your world is the illusion now." He smiled, and the dimension trembled. Chains made of mirror shards erupted from the ground, wrapping around Rango's limbs, Red's wings. Their reflections above screamed in sync, mocking them. Red struggled, beak grinding in fury, feathers bleeding. Rango shouted, "Let us out!" But the doctor only laughed. "You think this is prison? This is your truth." Rango looked down and saw himself, not as he was, but as something darker. The chains weren't just glass, they were memories, fears, regrets, and they were tightening. And then light, golden, pure, like the sun piercing through nightmares. A portal opened, shattering the chains. A voice echoed, calm and powerful, "No more games." The real Doctor Strange stepped in, his cloak fluttering like wings. With a flick of his hand, the evil version was thrown back. Rango gasped, feeling the warmth again. Red looked up, eyes wide. They weren't alone. Hope had entered the mirror, and it was fighting back. The two doctors clashed like titans. Spells collided, shaking the dimension. Gold versus violet, good versus evil. Every strike shattered mirror islands around them. Rango and Red ran for cover as entire chunks of the sky collapsed. The evil doctor screamed, his voice splitting in layers. The real doctor, eyes focused, created shields, daggers, portals, his hands dancing through magic. Rango whispered, "Is this what war between gods looks like?" Red didn't answer, he just stared and clenched his fists. Something inside Red snapped. The fear, the pain, it turned into fire. His feathers lit up. His eyes flared with a primal roar. Red broke free from the last mirror trap and flew into the air wings. "Ablaze! I'm not your puppet," he screamed, slamming into the evil doctor's magic shield. The impact cracked it like an egg. Rango stood in awe. Red wasn't just angry now, he was unstoppable. He was rage incarnate. From the closest mirror, a hand reached out. Rango blinked only to see himself stepping through. But this version was cold. Eyes red, smile twisted. "You left me in here. Now I leave you." The reflection growled. He raised a jagged glass revolver. Rango backed away, trembling. His reflection knew every move, every weakness. "I am you," it hissed, "but I never lied to myself." The mirror heart floated above them, beating like a demon's drum. Every thump sent waves of distortion. Strange shouted, "Destroy it now." Red soared high, while Rango, bruised, bleeding, loaded the last bullet into a glowing revolver. "This one's for all of us," he whispered. Red struck from above. Rango shot from below. Their attacks met in the center, cracking the heart. It screamed. The evil doctor melted into glass dust, pulled into the exploding core. Light swallowed everything. Doctor Strange opened one last rift, golden and flickering. "Go, before it collapses." Rango grabbed Red, and they ran. The world around them shattered, islands crumbling, shadows screaming. Red looked back only to see his old reflection, give a silent nod, and disappear. They leaped through the rift just as the mirror dimension collapsed behind them. The portal sealed with a burst of light, and then quiet. They landed in the desert. The same wind, the same stars, but nothing felt normal. Rango stared into a puddle and saw his reflection wink. Red stood in silence, his feathers slightly burned, but his heart pounding like never before. Doctor Strange gave one final warning. The mirror never forgets, and sometimes it remembers better than you do. Then he vanished, and as the sun rose, Rango and Red knew the nightmare wasn't over, it was just waiting for its next crack.